Persona 3. Persona! Persona! Reload! Persona 3 Reload! I'm naneniwa, and this is Drunk Elf Explains. You're new in town, you're a new student. Honestly, you kinda look like a girly pop, but you're actually a boy. You walk in, you're like, yeah, where's my dorm? And then you're like, why is there coffins and why is there blood and things? And you're like, is it Halloween? Is Halloween happening? Are we at a theme park? You get to your dorm and everything's green. You're like, why is it so green in here? You see this kid's like, sign a contract. But don't worry, I gave him a wrong name. I wrote chili dog hot dog down. Get scammed. That's not even my real name. And then you meet your dorm mates, but they're women, and you're like, but I'm not a woman. And then apparently you can be awake in the dark hour. It's like an extra hour in the day, but you're not doing anything productive with the extra hour. You get an extra hour of sleep, and you're not. The game doesn't give you an extra hour of activity. I think that's kind of a scam. We still get like the same amount of activity as we would if we were, you know? Well, I mean, I guess we explored the palaces, but you know, I would min-max my hour way better than they did. And so, yada. We're in school. This girl, she's like, I have my persona. Oh my gosh. What's her name? Takeba. She's like, talk about it. And there's like a redhead girl, and her name's Mitseru. And then, I like to call her the French girl, cause sometimes she'd be speaking French. And then there's the muscle head. I forgot his name, but I love him. And he's great. And then he's like unhealthy. We meet the certified yapper. His name is Junpei, and he's like, I saw you walking to school with Takeba. And it's like, cause we're in the same dorm, and they're like, oh, so I saw you walking with Takeba, and we're like, okay, shut up. And then we find the personas, and they're battling, and we can't fight, and the Takeba girl's like, I need to use my powers, and she can't use her powers. And we're like, why do you have a gun? And she's like, I don't just this, so this is just cosplay, like. And then we take her gun and we go persona, and then we get the persona, and we're OP, and we can summon multiple personas. Everyone's like, I've never seen a persona user like this before. I've never seen a persona user like this before. A persona user that could summon multiple personas? Yeah. And that Junpei guy, he gets a persona. I think there's like a train. We fight the train. We fight the lady. She's really nice. Do you want to marry me? And then we get more members. So like the whole squad of Persona 3, it'd be like kid, you, protagonist. We get a dog. The dog is the best character in the game. Don't at me. Junpei, he's kind of like an idiot, but like he gets a goth girlfriend, so that's kind of cool.
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
But she's like a bad guy. We'll get to that later. And then we have Mitseru. She's like, I'm the student council president. I'm the CEO's daughter. I'm the image of perfection. Ha 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 ha. And then we have Blockhead, the guy that punches. What's his name again? The punchy guy. He punches. It's on the tip of my tongue. Who is this guy? He solves everything by punching. And then we have the guy with the beanie. He's good. And then there's like there's a middle schooler, and we're like, why are you here? I didn't really talk that much. But yeah, you progress the story. The school principal. Okay, the school principal is in on everyone having personas and stuff. They're like, we've been researching forever. And he like works with Mitsuru's father. He was weird. I saw him and I was like, red flag. Because why are you letting high schoolers do all this stuff, you know? Yeah. And so like they're like trying to solve the tower. The school turns into this big tower at night and they explore it. And, you know, me being the protagonist, I explored the highest I've ever been. There's like this other group of people we find. Tech nerd, goth baddie, and Jesus, and they're like all evil. Well, apparently they're experiments. They were experimented orphans from the old company that Mitsuru's grandpa ran, and apparently Mitsuru's dad is making amendments for causing all of this persona leakage drama. We have a bunch of persona bonds. I'll quickly go through those. There's a scammer. There's a cult kid who likes to eat food, the gourmet. There's a guy, he has the cringiest storyline. He likes his teacher and it's kind of like a train wreck to watch. It's really good. Get your popcorn. I really like that storyline because I was like, wow, this is so cringe and embarrassing. I was like, wow, I'm really watching a train crash in real time. And then there's, oh, the sewing one's really good. There's a guy that just wants to sew and live in Japan, and it's really wholesome. There's a guy that is in the hospital and he is basically like perishing. He's expiring. He's like, you know, he's like an avocado that's been left out a little too long. And his story's really beautiful too. Oh, there's a guy that runs, but he can't afford to run. Oh, so beautiful. There's a couple girls that like us. There's a track star girl. She learns how to coach. And then there's the treasurer of the student council we meet through Mitsuru. And then there's a girl we meet in an MMO, but she turns out to be like an older woman. And that's why I remember it's in the game. Anyways, she was really cute. I'm sorry. Look, the protagonist might be a high schooler, but I am 438 years old. Okay, so how about that? Base, Nane, base. Anyways, so that's Persona 3. We go up the tower. We meet some weird people. We fight the personas. And then once we think we're about to get to the top, our friend, he went berserk and he accidentally yeeted someone's mom. But the person's mom he yeeted was the middle schooler. And his hamster is named Burger. And that's Hamburger. That's all I remember about him. And he's like, take care of Burger if anything happens. And basically he wants revenge, but then the bad guy Jesus, he's like actually yeeting people from existence on purpose. So he tries to yeet the kid, and then the beanie guy, you know, he jumps in front of him and saves his life. And he goes, why would you do that? And he's like, I owe you. Live for me and your mom. And yeah, it's really tragic. I pretty much cried. It's November 4th at that point. Oh, before that, there's a beach episode and we meet a robot and the robot's like, protagonist, I missed you. And we're like, okay. And oh yeah, and the guys try to pick up women, but they fail because it's really cringe. Yeah, that was really cringe. I blocked it from my memory, and the girls are just hanging out having a good time because Mitsuru has an island because her dad's rich, and yeah, beach episode, you know how it is. Oh, and then later there's hot springs and we try to like dodge the hot springs. And yeah, and I dodge them. We mix up the times for the bath. Very close to being dead meat. And then Junpei gets a goth girlfriend, and she's from Strega. Yeah, that's her name. And they try to challenge us, but we fight the bosses and stuff. But Jesus from Strega, he basically shoots this guy, and we have a whole memorial. And the principal, the adult in the situation, like, we're all crying. We're like, we lost our friend, boo-hoo. And he's just like, business as usual, like, fight the next boss, guys. We got this. It's like, no sympathy, no day off of school, no nothing, you know? Very tragic, very not cool. And that's when I was like, red flag number 2, I don't trust your principal. Because any other adult leadership would have been like, oh guys, like, you know. Then we clear the tower or whatever. And then we have a sushi dinner. We're like, yeah, cool, sushi dinner, yeah, woo. And then this other guy pops up. And he's like, sussy Baka. He's trying to friend us. I'm like, is this Yaoi? and it turns out he's like death or some. He's like death or the Reaper or whatever tower. And then we find out the principal was evil, and I was like, big shocker, guys, big shocker, you know. Because we think we defeated Strega and everything. And then the principal, they eat Mitsuru's dad. Is very dramatic. Play the clip.
Oh! They had a shoot off!
They both dead. They both dead. Imagine dying to the comedian chairman! Bruh. Embarrassing.
A few moments later.
I have a lot of trauma. Yeah, fighting. Everyone is dying. I can't have good sleep now. There's too many hours. And then we're like, oh, everything's good. We did it. Well, we did it. And then Mitsuru is like, I have to grow up quick because she has to be a CEO now. So we're like trying to fix everything. And the guy that shows up, he's like death after all that. And he's like, the world's gonna end, guys. You guys can choose to live in delusion, or you can choose to stop the end of the world. And we're like, obviously I'm gonna choose to stop the end of the world. Some people are for delusion. I'm like, whatever. Junpei gets a girlfriend. He needed one. He really did. He really needed the character development of getting a girlfriend. It's a goth girl. It's an enemy from Strega. She has the power to heal though, which is really cool, which will come into play later. Then Strega, the Jesus and the tech nerd, they're like doing their best to fight, you know. Then they're like, we have plans, and they're doing stuff in the tower to get like ultimate power or something. I don't know. They're like the dreams, the illusions, and you know, like Persona nonsense, like the delusion to change the world. They're starting a cult. They start a cult, and people are getting like crazy. They're getting like brainwashed, getting sick. I don't know. And then we fight. Yada 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 yada. Explore the tower. Yada yada yada. There's like boss. Can we get a montage of me killing the bosses? Finally, we fight Strega because they're trying to get to the top of the tower because apparently that we missed something. But then, they try to eat Junpei, and then the goth girl, she sacrifices everything to save Junpei. Tragic love story. We love to see it though. It's very cute. And you know, he like gifted her flowers. She was going through it. The Junpei hospital scene, very cute, very sweet. I did like the character development. you know, her persona was like trying to eat her. It was very tragic, the experiments. But yeah, I did the route correctly, so she comes back to life. So all ends well with them. Happy for them. And then we do like round 2 of the tower on the Doom Day or whatever, and we fight the tech nerd first. He's like, I would give up my life for you, Jesus. And he's like, thank you. And he's like shirtless Jesus. I don't know why he's shirtless all the time. He looks like a rock star. It's crazy. And then we fight Jesus. Then we have to fight death and God, and it's like crazy. And then there's like an anime scene, and then we go and the voices of our friends help us win, and then everything's good, everything's cool. And then everyone forgets about us after. Everyone forgets what happened because we defeated it. And then, but because we made a promise to meet up again, everyone somehow faintly remembers and we all meet up. The dog is the best character. And I'm asleep on the robot. The robot didn't forget, because she's a robot. And I fall asleep on her permanently. And I never wake up. The end! That's Persona 3 Reload in a nutshell. I skipped a bit, but I mean, it's like a 60-hour game, guys. Come on. Oh, and the grandparents. I love the grandparents. Thank you for the bread. Thank you for the bread, Grandpa. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell notif. And don't forget to reload your persona. Persona!